everybody, welcome to the NC Real Estate YouTube channel. I am so glad that you're over here. This week we are chatting all about the stigma of selling property. It seems to be huge taboo at the moment in the industry, and especially in the buy-to-let industry, that you never sell property. You just keep hold of it throughout the lifespan of your portfolio and you just let it do its thing. Well, let me tell you that that is the wrong attitude to have. It really is. Because actually, selling and disposing of assets is something that naturally should happen in your property portfolio, because actually you can't keep a property forever if it just doesn't work for you. And it's a lesson that you should take out of the big portfolios books, because they actively sell property. It's part of their strategy. Look, if it doesn't work for them anymore, they get rid of it. That's what keeps the property market moving, because there's always things on the market that are being sold by these larger estates who just want to get rid of it because it doesn't work with their current strategy. And you know what? That is okay. And that's what I wanted this video to be about. You do not have to keep hold of your properties forever. Look, if they are making you a loss, then it's not okay to keep them. Seriously, why do you want to hold on to something that really doesn't work for you? And there are other reasons why you may want to get rid of your property as well. It might not fit in with your strategy anymore. You might have added all the value you can to it. You might not be able to get any more rental increase out of it. You might think that the market in the local area really is going to fall, in which case, what's the point of having it over the next couple of years if you cannot see any way out of the property market rising because the area just doesn't work? You could also be wanting to sell because actually you've got a property that is so far away from the rest of your properties. It's just becoming a real slog to go over there and look at it, inspect it, see what's going on. You just don't want it as part of your property portfolio. And those are all legitimate reasons for selling your properties. Look, if you can sell your property and you can raise cash, that means you can go and invest in something that works better with your property portfolio, then why wouldn't you do it? It seems crazy in this day and age to be keeping hold of assets that just don't perform for you. After all, really the goal of buying buy-to-let properties is to make an income from it. As much as people can be like, I don't believe in this get-rich-quick schemes, I don't either. But actually you're investing in properties to keep it as an asset that works for you and provides for you. If it's not doing that, why do you still have it on your books? And yes, it might be the done thing at the moment for everybody to be competing with how many properties they've got. I've got 10, I've got 20 of. Who cares? It's your property portfolio and you need to be doing what works for you. Look, there's always a right place and time to buy a property. And there's always a right place and time to let it go. And that would be different for everybody. You may have some sort of sentimental attachment to a property, which means that you want to keep it for a little bit longer to see if you can do something with the property and really make it work. And that's okay as well. I can't tell you what the right time to sell a property is because you've got to know in your gut feeling. But don't hold on to a property for so long that it's really dragging your property portfolio under. It just shouldn't be like that. Buying property and investing in those kind of assets should be for a growth only. That's it. You want to be expanding and you want to be making additional money and additional income. That's what this is all about. The minute you start losing money somewhere and really not growing and expanding from your portfolio, it's time to look at what's going on. And that's why continuous analysis of your portfolio is really, really key to working out when the best time to keep property is and when the best time to sell property is. And it's not always a good thing to listen to other people. People might be like, well, in a couple of years' time, this property market's going to grow because of X, Y, and Z. Well, is your property portfolio going to be able to survive 2 years of keeping something that's just not performing? You've got to be asking yourself these questions, and you've got to be honest with yourself. Look, you don't want one bad property to pull your whole portfolio down. How awful would that be? One property ruining everything you've built over the last however long, or everything that you're going to build. Really, you want to be keeping properties on your books which perform for you and align with your goals, and that is the most important thing. The stigma around selling properties is completely wrong. You should be able to do what you want with your properties, keep them if you want to, and get rid of them when you want to. Far too many landlords come to me and go, I wouldn't get rid of that. The whole point is that I just keep buying properties. That's not a good viewpoint to have, because it just means that actually you're not looking at what you've got already. You probably don't care. You just want more. But if that more isn't good enough to really reach where you want to be going, why not just dispose of it and buy something better? And you may also think, well, if it doesn't work for me, why would anybody else want it? Well, actually, what works for you and what works for me are completely different things. And someone else might pick it up and have a completely different viewpoint on what they're investing for or why they want to buy it. You've just got to let someone else make that decision for them. You need to be keeping properties which really work for you. I've already said it a couple of times in this video, and I stand by that. Building a property portfolio and a selection of assets is really about looking at your goals, where you want to get to, and moulding your property portfolio as a whole to shape that. Not just one singular property. You really need to be looking at this as a whole. All of your properties need to be working for you, because even if one doesn't, that drags everything else down. So I personally believe that the stigma of selling property just needs to go away. You need to be making decisions which are best for you, and you need to be really concentrating on your own portfolio. I feel this is super important, and that's how you will become the best property investor and you will have the most successes, because when you realize that something's not working, you can make a decision to change that, and that's awesome. That's what being an awesome property investor is all about. So I want to wrap up this video by saying to you, actually, it's okay if you want to sell a property. It really is, because that will only make your property portfolio stronger. It really will. So get used to analysing your portfolio, working out what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and then making the changes accordingly. That will mean that you are actually working for yourself, you're working in your best interest, and you're really building a portfolio that aligns with your goals. So now I want to hear from you. What properties have you decided to sell in the past? Or do you believe that you definitely shouldn't sell properties? Write it in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from you, and any questions you ask me from this video, we will answer in next week's podcast. Now, this is coming to the end of my YouTube video, and I've loved having you here. But if you want any other tips, advice, strategies, or any other information, head on over to www.ncrealestate.co.uk. Thank you so much for watching this YouTube video, and I'll see you again next week.